Today's demo is on succulents, and this one is specifically on Echeveria, which is also known as the desert rose, okay? And you see lots of different varieties of these online. I've seen many, many different colors. The one I'm choosing to do has light green tones with a pink highlight around the leaves, so that highlight gets a little tricky, and I'm going to show you how we get that done. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our overhead camera and we will get started. So here we go. So this was the original that I painted, and you can see it's got a pale green center, and then it goes out to a slightly grayed color with a pink edge, okay? And I think the toughest part about this is getting that center to look nice, because the leaves get really packed in and tight in there, and how do you get those to look good? So you have to switch the brush sizes down slightly to get to that level of leaf size, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put out my colors, and I'm going to stroke it right here below this one that I did, so you can see the original and how we're creating that. All right. Oops, I think I missed a brush. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put out some soft apple. Okay. So soft apple is a very pale green. And then I'm going to put out some classic French gray, which is a lighter shade of gray, like a lighter than our medium gray, okay? And then we're going to need some darker green for our center so that our lighter strokes show up. So I'm going to put out some thicket for that. And then we've got bright pink. Okay, you could use bright pink, you could use neon pink. Magenta is a little dark for this, so you want something a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to get a little bit of white. So wicker white. Okay, there we go. And we'll need medium for this, because I'm going to use a little bit of a watercolory look by adding medium, a lot of medium to the brush. That's going to help the paint move, of course, and it's also going to give it a little softer look too. Okay, all right, so we're going to be doing some side loading here, so I want to flatten out my paint puddles so that I can get to the sides. And I'm going to take a 12 flat, get that damp, and then we're going to drop down to a 6 flat when we get to the center. Okay, so first thing is we want to load with all soft apple and medium. So get a good amount of medium on there and blend that in with your soft apple. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get half loaded with the gray, French country gray. Okay, so that's blending with the green, so you're getting a pretty gray-green tone. Now on that gray edge, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to side load this bright pink. Okay, just on that outside edge. And so that's how I'm going to be loading and picking up color for now. All right, so I'm going to find this top center of my flower, and I'm going to, so if I have a center, let me get another brush here real quick. And we're going to put this dark center in here first. So I'm going to pick up some of the thicket. I've got a 6 flat right here, and I'm just going to put in a dark center, and we're going to pull that out like that. Okay, so we want that dark green in there. Okay. All right, so then with this loaded brush, I'm going to come out a couple of brush lengths, so out to here, because this is a layered set of leaves or petals, right? And we're going to stroke up, come to a point and stand, reverse, push down, and stand back up. Okay, and see that pretty color we get there? All right, so I'm going to go get fresh color every time. So getting my soft apple, getting my gray, and then side stroking that pink. All right, so see how these are all these petals that stick out? I'm going to drop over, I'm going to skip a little bit and come out here, and we're going to push out point and push back, stand up. All right, now that got a little wide and heavy. So let's turn this. I'm going to fix that. I need that strong pink on that outside. There we go. Push out and come back in. There we go. Okay. All right, now side more pink, and I'm going to drop again out to a point, push, and slide in. More color, and I'm going to come back to some medium. Every couple, maybe 3 strokes, you're going to need to get fresh medium with this. Let me restroke that one because I'm not happy with that. Now if the pink is not showing, like in this case it's a little dull, I'm going to come back in and we can kind of lay that in later. Okay. All right, so now let's drop down here. Point, push, come back. Getting the strong pink. Point and in. So I'm being kind of careful not to make them look all the same. I want them to have a little bit of character. So you can have them, some are longer, some are a little bit shorter. Side load that pink. We're going to do one more right here. Okay. Point, reverse, and slide in. All right, so now I've got my border, and I'm going to come get more color. And we're going to come in between. Okay, so again, we're going to have some of these longer ones now. Here, tip, push back. See there? Now I'm overlapping. Keep getting that fresh paint. And then I'm going to come right in here. Ugh, I need more pink. It's not showing up. There we go. Okay, so isn't that a pretty color, the way that gray and the pink and the green come together? Tip. It's important that you come and stand on that tip so you get a point at the end. These actually have a little succulent, some succulents have little spines on the ends, and in this case this one does. All right, so here, point, push hard, and come back. And I think this is in the same family as some people have in their gardens, what they call hen and chicks. My grandmother always had those growing in her garden, flower garden. She had the most beautiful flower garden. All right, and I'm going to rotate, push, stand up. So see how we're getting the overlapping now? Keep side loading that pink. Just that little bit of pink on that outside edge is all you need. Now I'm going to get a little bit stronger, and I'm going to come back here and restroke that. There we go. Keep getting medium. That'll help this move. Now the ones on the bottom, depending on which way you're facing, can be a little darker too. So if that's happening to you, that's okay. It's actually good that they don't all look exactly the same. Let's turn this. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our outside perimeter, and we're going to start adding the layers inside. Okay, So we can get a little darker with that as well. They're going to get tighter and a little bit darker. Okay, but they still are going to have that that pink edge. I'm using soft apple, French country gray, and classic French gray, excuse me. Soft apple, classic French gray, and bright pink. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here. And we're going to come and stand. Now we're getting closer to that center. See that? And we're letting them overlap. And you want to be careful that you're not lining them up perfect, okay, so that you don't create layers of, points all going in the same direction. Side load the pink. We'll do a little smaller one here. There we go. So this is my 12 flat, and then pretty soon here we're going to switch to the 6 flat when we start doing those center petals. All right, so we're going to come there and see how we're starting to get into that dark center. There we go, a little pink on that one. Remember also that all these demonstrations that I'm doing on my Facebook Lives, if you want to go back and watch previous ones, and it's difficult sometimes to go and find things on Facebook, you can go to my YouTube channel, and we've been putting those up usually a week or so after they air. So I'm in the process right now of putting up the March ones. I shouldn't say week or so, I should say month or so. Just depends. Okay, so now we're very close to being ready to do the smaller inner ones. I'm just going to do a few right here. Just to kind of come in there towards that middle, and we'll finish out this right here. There we go. Okay, so now we're into that dark center, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my brush up now, and I'm going to load, this is a 6 flat now, and I'm loading it with all soft apple, and then I'm going to come over here and side stroke some gray, and then I'm going to come over here and side stroke the pink, just like we did with the 12 flat, okay? And so here, let me come down just a little bit closer. And I'm going to actually side load a tiny bit of yellow, or white, wicker white. Okay, and we're going to come out here, push, and stand. Now I lost that pink, which happens when you add that white, so add a little pink in there. So I got pink, I got white. There. Right, little tiny petals. Now I'm just going to get white, side stroke the white, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to come from here. Well, first let's put this out here. There we go. And then once that white's in there, I'm going to come and bring the pink on top so that that shows. All right, come back and get my apple, soft apple, gray, pink. All right, and then we're going to do one more down here. All right, I didn't get pink. There we go. All right, now I want to get just a touch of that dark green on that inside corner, and then come over here and side stroke my bright pink. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to come from here, and we're going to push to a peak, and then stand up and twist the brush. Okay, so the dark is on this back side. And then here, we're going to push and stand up. And stand up. Now I want to get a little bit of white. And we're going to push, point, and stand up. Okay, so we've got these cute little petals in here. Now the last thing I want to do is come get my script liner. Not the last thing, but the next thing, right? And I'm going to get just a little bit of the thicket, and I'm going to come right in here and darken again that center so that it gives a little bit of depth. I'm going to wipe off that brush, and I'm going to come get white and streak through some soft apple. Right, and we're going to come right in here and make some tight little strokes in there so it looks like the petals have gotten tight around that dark center. Okay, now the last thing I am going to do on these petals is for any of these ones where the pink didn't show very well, I'm going to come load my script liner with some of this pink, and I'm going to come out to the point and touch and lay down. All right, so if you didn't get a nice sharp point, this is that sharp point I was talking about. So you can touch, lay it down, and pull it in. Okay, so if you want to come in any one of these, like this one right here, it didn't even show. Okay, so we've got lots of pretty little petals going on here for the succulents. You can create those pointed tips. All right, just do it on a few, not on every single one. I think it looks better that way. Okay, and then to finish this off, if there are places where the petal separation isn't real defined, like in this case I'm pretty happy with it, but it really makes a difference if you can come in and do a little bit of shading. Now the best thing would be for me to let this dry, but I'm not going to do that, but you would want to do that at home. So let me back up just a hair, a little close. So I'm going to load my 12 flat with floating medium, and then we're going to side load some of this thicket. And then I'm going to get a little bit of that gray on there too. So it's like a gray green. Because I don't want the same dark that we have in the center. Okay. So what you can do at this point is, let me find, these are dry. Okay. You can come through, let's say here, and shade around that petal. Here. There. Okay, and that's going to help some of those petals just pop right out. Now I wouldn't shade around every single one of them, but maybe here and there it would look really nice. Okay, right here in the center. Remember, when you're shading, you're on the flat of the brush, so not up on the chisel. And it's always a good idea to make sure this is dry first, but we don't have that time tonight. And apparently I have a noisy hairdryer, so I'm looking at getting something a little quieter. I think it's actually my camera is not muting when it's supposed to. There we go. Okay, so that's just giving you a little bit of depth around, especially around the lower petals, right? There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'll do these. I think these are dry enough. Okay, there. That really helps it pop out, doesn't it? I'll just do a couple of these up here. These ones in the back especially. There we go. All right. So that's our first succulent for this series, and I hope you'll give it a try. There's lots of different colors you can choose. There's deep burgundy ones with wine-colored dark centers and stuff. They're beautiful. So there you go. There's our Echeveria or desert rose.